Lead us with a prayer, and Councilor Arnold, if she'll do the pledge of allegiance, please. And as we start today, I would ask today has been an exceptional, crazy day. And, I would ask that today, while we're here, if you would please, we lost a young man in Roswell. His mom had done an awful lot for Mr. Robert Boyles. This year we also lost Drew Urban, who was a police officer today. And we lost 4 members of the Trans Arrow team, which fly people. We lost 2 pilots and 2 nurses that fly people, pick them up and fly them around to healthcare this morning early. And so if you all wouldn't mind, if you would keep that in your prayers, and also remember one of our city employees, Trey Gray, who passed away on the job last year. And he was a very young man who was very energetic and worked in the water department. And after all the flooding and everything we've had, the water department always keeps everything going. And then, and while we have those to pray for, I think we should also give thanks. It was 2 years ago tomorrow that Officer Cabin was shot, and his father is here in our council. But if you follow that young man, he's been on his deployment. He was pretty severely wounded in his ankle, but he's had an amazing recovery. So while we ask for a lot of prayers, we also give thanks for a lot of really good things that happened, and certainly Officer Cabin was that. So if you would please rise with me, and we'll have Councilor Lou hold the prayer and the pledge of allegiance by Councilor Arnold.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you and give you all glory and honor. Thank you for allowing everybody to be here tonight, Father God. We give you all glory and honor for that, Father God. We ask you to bless the counselors and the decisions they make today, that they be wise decisions, Father God. We ask for our firefighters, our police officers, and our first responders to be safe, Father God, every day. We ask you for our military, Father God, for our leaders of our country, our leaders of our state, and leaders of our city. And that we give you all glory and honor. In your name we pray, amen. Amen.
No, I got it right here on my phone. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Usually we start with roll call, but we allow Councilor Horn to get in here, so we do the roll call. So if the clerk would please call the roll.
Councilor Oropesa?
Here.
Councilor Arnold?
Here.
Councilor Gass? Councilor Marujo?
Here.
Councilor Johnson?
Here.
Councilor Moore is absent. Councilor Corn?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Halverson?
Here.
Councilor Hildenbrand?
Present.
Councilor Cabin?
Here.
There you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Today we're probably going to try to stick to a 3-minute time limit for guests to speak. Angelica V. Hill is asked to speak and address us on the water issue and with Bill. So we might have a little bit of time on that. So that's the only one that we have addressed. I would ask, it's been a very, very trying day in the city of Roswell. So, if we can try to get through it today, it's a real tough day from all the tragic things that happened today. So please, everybody, just remember and listen to your friends and fellow man, and if you can help them, always help them, because we never know what's going to happen. So, if we could, next now we have for approval of the agenda, Councilor Corn.
Approval of the agenda.
We have a motion to approve, a second by Council Cavan. Any further discussion? Seeing none, if the clerk would call the roll.
Counselor Oropesa,
Yes.
Counselor Arnold,
Yes.
Counselor Gass,
Yes.
Counselor Marujo,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Corn,
Yes.
Counselor Halverson,
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand,
Aye.
and Counselor Cavan.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
By a vote of 9 affirmative and none in the negative, the agenda has been approved. Next, we have approval of the consent agenda, and that would be Councilor Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move we approve the consent agenda items 3 through 20.
We have a motion by Councilor Corn, second by Councilor Oropesa. Is that right? Marujo? Marujo, sorry. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, if the clerk would call the roll.
Counselor Oropesa,
Yes.
Counselor Arnold,
Yes.
Counselor Gass,
Yes.
Counselor Marujo,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Corn,
Yes.
Counselor Halverson,
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand,
Aye.
Counselor Cavan.
Yes.
Okay, next we go to item 21.
Please report.
We'll go to non-action. Okay. Yeah, non-action, I'm sorry, not 21. Non-action items, we have, airport updates, Mr. Omar? Omar, no?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilmen, members. So tonight I'm going to talk about airport improvement efforts. They continue to move forward across multiple construction, design, and infrastructure initiatives. Current projects focus on enhanced airfield safety, maintaining critical pavement infrastructure, improving terminal facilities, and preparing the airport for future operational growth. With airfield construction projects, we've got Taxiway L, which is the BLM. Construction remains underway. I think you have a photo on that one. I kind of went out of order. Next, that one. So this is Taxiway Lima, which is by the BLM. Construction remains underway on Taxiway Lima project. Substantial completion is currently anticipated in June. The overall schedule may slightly depend on material lead times and associated with approved change orders. And then there's a map of where the BLM's at. You can see it with the little marker there. And then that's gonna be the new taxiway going around the BLM, which is gonna allow for the tanker planes to just pull in, fill up, and then taxi around instead of having to back up, turn around right there on the ramp. So that's gonna help them out a lot. So we move on to Taxiway C rehabilitation, Taxiway Charlie. I think that's the one that was right in front. So Taxiway Charlie, we're working on, it's progressing well and is expected to reach substantial completion by May 15th. So on the sides of the taxiway here, there was ruts when they parked the planes during COVID. The planes were, I don't know if you guys remember or ever seen out there when the planes were parked, but they had about 400 to 500 planes parked out there. They had them on the sides of the taxiway here, and they were just too heavy for the asphalt to hold them, so they did create ruts, large cracks on the side of the taxiways, and that's one of the things that we got marked for last inspection. So that's being done right now. Another taxiway project that we're beginning is taxiways Alpha, Juliet, Charlie, Golf, and Hotel. This multi-taxiway pavement maintenance program is currently in design phase right now. It's at 90% design, and the draft is expected to be released. Staff anticipates releasing the project for bids probably next week or the week after, and then opening bids are planned for mid-June. Construction activities are expected to begin late summer of 2026. We move on to design and safety improvement projects. One of them is the hotspot, the removal project. The airport continues advanced design efforts for the FAA identified hotspot hotspot removal projects categorized exclusion environment documentation is scheduled for submission to the FAA during the week of May 15th. Design work is anticipated to begin and completed by the end of the 2026. So this is gonna be the first pictures that were up there. This is the terminal restroom renovation. So the terminal restroom renovation project is complete. The punch list has been corrected. So if you can see, this is the front two bathrooms. As soon as you enter the terminal, that's gonna be the front two bathrooms. That's the men and the women's bathroom. The next one, and this is the big change right here. This is the bathrooms that are on the east side of the terminal. Nobody really knew that they were there, but they used to be right there as soon as you walked in the doors. They're right there to your left, and they're probably about half that size when they were there. So they made both of them their unisex bathrooms, and so they're completed with those. So now we're gonna move on to the in-car electrical improvements. Airport staff continues coordinating with in-car regarding the relocation and additional electrical power panels. Final design is expected to be completed by June 26th. The museum toll road project, it's still coordinating, continues with the city engineer staff regarding roadway and utility crossing considerations. The project team is also evaluating aircraft transportation procedures intended to reduce gate opening requirements. The museum foundation has currently placed the project on hold while construction materials are being processed. One of the main things is trying to figure out how they're gonna get the planes across Wyo Road to where the museum's gonna be at. We're also working still on the holding room expansion. The task order has been submitted for schematic design development related to the terminal hold room expansion project. So this phase will support future design, building, pricing proposal as projected advances. The airport infrastructure and facility improvement projects remain active across constructions, design, and planning phases. These investments continue to support the airport's long-term operational reliability, safety, and passenger experience while positioning the airport for future growth and continued partnership opportunities through the FAA grant funding. I know one of the questions we've been looking at is, we'll give you an update on building 1081, which is where the museum's supposed to go into. Well, I met today with Great Western Specialty Services. We met this morning, and what they're looking at is replacing the control panel, along with a whole list of, I'd say probably like 5 or 6 items that the fire marshal has given us to work on. That panel is just old and outdated. It's not communicating with none of the pull stations. It's not communicating with the smoke detectors. So they determined that it's going to need a whole new panel in there. So they're supposed to be working on getting us a quote for that. I also have J&G looking at getting us a quote for that. And then the third vendor that we had reached out to, we still haven't heard anything from them, and it's probably been about 3 or 4 weeks from them. But when I did talk to the guy from Great Western Specialty Services, he said that he could probably, more than likely, he'll get it ready for July 1st is when he anticipates being done with all the fire alarm system, and then we can get it inspected by the fire marshal. And so lastly, I'm gonna report on United Airlines. So for the month of April, they reported 2,505 passengers, which is a little bit under what we want it to be. It's at 41% boarding rating. We do have radio ads that are running. We do have billboards that are up. I don't know if you've seen them around town. They're advertising and promoting this flight. I did reach out to United to get a booking forecast for the next month. And up until from tomorrow up until June 23rd, they reported about 1,413 booked passengers during this time frame, which currently will put them at 71% of their flight rating. And finally, we did complete our FAA inspection. The inspector left pretty pleased with the airport conditions and its continued safety to safe travel operations. We're currently waiting for a list from them to see what we need to work on for the future, but I don't anticipate it being anything major. Yeah. And I stand for questions.
Anyone have any questions? Councilman?
Thanks, Omar. So you said, the numbers are picking up 1,400 coming up. You said 71%, is that the capacity?
Yeah, that was a capacity. That's,
71%? That's
so that's
a big
pretty,
improvement, right?
it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody, Councilman Rubel?
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Quick question, I know our barn grill's been open for 2 months, I was curious to know how we're doing on that.
Currently, I don't really have any numbers on it. I think the last I heard, I don't remember. They're currently doing about 400 a day.
Thank you.
And that's still with the limited bar, so they don't have all of the alcohol, they don't have any of the liquor, but they're doing about 400 a day right now.
Now, when you say they don't have all the liquor, they're not.
So we're still waiting for the POS system to get put in so they can, keep better track of the liquor. Right now they have like 3 different flavors and maybe a few, I don't know what they're called, the IPAs. But that's what they're running on right now. But talking to IT, we should have the POS system installed within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Any further questions? Thank you very much, Omar. Next, we have Mr. Tellings, Rick, from our air races.
Mr. Mayor, honorable members of the council, thank you very much. And I share your sadness of the bad news today. Aviation accidents affect all of us. I'll be brief tonight, but a couple of updates. First of all, we opened ticketing to public on late April 23rd, and so far we're just under 500,000 in ticketing, which is looking very strong. We opened later than last year, so we're behind where we were last year, but for this point in time, I think it's quite good. Second thing is this will be the first year that we'll be using the 600-mile-an-hour course. We're authorized to go up that fast for the first time. Our previous limits have been 525 miles an hour. The jet jocks have, excuse me for the vernacular, but have chosen to name the course the Mach course. Clearly, they don't pay attention to the facts because it's a little less than Mach speed, but it sounds nice. The jets are all planning on running on their new Mach course, and the visibility that we saw when we tested out last year is really terrific. This will, secondarily, the emergency runway is designed to start either late May or early June. I was going to say mid-May, but as my partner reminded me, the reality is we're already in mid-May. So we expect the emergency runway to be done by late July to give the classes, particularly Sport and Unlimited, a chance to review it and declare it satisfactory. But as you know, we owe great debt of gratitude to the Hollyfield family and the Brown Brothers Ranch for approving the permission, and they're granting us the land for free. Indeed, we think that a lot of the millings for the construction will come from the ranch site. And finally, chalets, of which we had 13 last year, we're now looking at possibly being sold out. We're looking at as many as 20 total chalets. Not all of them are committed, but we are. The one budget item that I'm confident about is we're going to make our chalet budget line at least. Everything else is still a challenge, but what the heck, if it was easy, they wouldn't need us. So I would like to close by taking 1 minute. Nothing that we've done here happens alone, and I am really the great beneficiary of so many people's organization and throughout the city. We're now taking over from Bobby, your city council, all of you have been immensely helpful. But I want to recognize at his first meeting with city council, if you'd stand a second, Tony Lagatello. Now, between Tony and I call him my partner in crime, even though nothing we do is illegal. It sure is fun on the best of all days. But the fact of the matter is, Tony is president, COO. He and I have now worked together since 2015, and I have said at every occasion, I could not be doing the things I get to do for the races if I did not have Tony overseeing virtually all of the infrastructure, planning, and activities. We're very lucky this year that his timing worked out to be here this couple of weeks, so he could attend the council. But last year, we just finished the grandstands. In the 2 weeks after they were done, he was spending all that time laying out everything that had to be placed on the site. Well, this year, thank God he came in May, and we're now getting all of that work done easier and earlier, so that hopefully he won't have to live here quite as long as I do when we get to the race. But I appreciate you recognizing Tony because he has been instrumental in making this event happen. Thank you. I'd be glad to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Towns. Do we have any questions of Mr. Towns or Tony?
Good, and thank you very much.
Thank you
Appreciate your
very
support.
much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
As long as we're on the airport, I would tell you that there has been a group that is looking at having a festival in Roswell, and it's all preliminary, but they were very excited when they saw the bleachers and the state of that area that we might be able to have a music festival there. And this is all preliminary, but if anyone hasn't seen the bleachers, it will really, I think, will present a very nice venue that can be of great use for our community, and give us something that we have for activities for members of our community that are, between 21 and 35 or so. A lot of younger activities, but we don't have a lot of activities for that group, and it really would be real nice if we could have that. Okay, so now moving right along, next we have Andrew. So Andrew, what's Andrew coming?
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Michael Vickers. I'm the new safety liaison for City of Roswell. And we wanted to take a minute to recognize our water department for some of the work that they've done, and the first responders with some of these large main breaks that we've had, and then a very, very large main break that occurred at DOT. So what you're looking at right here is a 16-inch line at Cahoon Park at Union and Riverside, essentially. That picture on the right is the old valve that was locked shut, and in the middle you can see the new pipe, the C900, with a new valve that we installed. Keep going, I won't read them all to you. So there's the new valve that's installed with flow fill on it. It's now covered up and the traffic control is removed. Essentially what we're going to do starting next week is we're going to reroute that pipe. We're going to kind of turn it on a 45 and bring it closer into Cahoon Park and across the river. That break occurred under the bridge, and so fortunately there was not a lot of flooding that occurred because it went straight down the river. But that line is definitely old, and it needs to be repaired and rerouted. That's just the valve. So you can see on the right there that red valve, that's the brand new valve that they set. So on April 16th, we had quite a day and a night. 14 main breaks throughout the city that day occurred. These guys worked 24 plus hours in a row to make sure that we got them all repaired. That's 3 of them. We can keep going. There's some videos you can see. This is 604 East Forest right there. Pretty decent sized line. You can see it bubbling up. That's Deming in Kansas. North Elm. There's a good one. Washington and Tilden. And then on the northeast side of town, that line's pretty shallow right there. So with the last guy finishing about 4:30 in the morning, Friday morning, on the water crew, we got a phone call about 10:30 from DOT, and they informed us that there was bubbling water in the back of their yard. So we went out, we investigated, we looked at it, called one call, immediately found out that there was a gas line located over this line. New Mexico Gas was out very quickly to mark that line so we could start digging and uncovering this main to see what we were dealing with. So these are some pictures of us starting to hydrovac. Given that there was a gas line there, we wanted to hydrovac with pressure washers so we didn't risk hitting that line, cutting it, causing a further safety hazard. There's a video of that line right there. So you can see two breaks in it, and if you look really close, there's a broom handle in the top of it that's plugging another one. So this is the first crew that's in the hole working on this. This is certainly a large line. 24 inches is very difficult to deal with, and the crews did an outstanding job. One thing I'd like to note, if you can see, they're all wearing harnesses. I'd like to thank the fire department also for sending a crew out to essentially hold on to those lines. Those are lifelines that they're tied off. In the event that that line were to blow, or there was sloughing in the hole that could have hurt someone, they were immediately prepared to pull them out. So each of the 4 members of the crew have a lifeline attached to their harness, and they were on standby waiting and ready should something happen. And they were also helping us observe things like hypothermia from the guys that were in the hole, because it was not necessarily warm. So we worked on this. That right there is a sleeve in that video. We could not get 2 different types of sleeves to go over this line to stop it. Typically that's how we would deal with a line break, is put a sleeve on it, tighten it down, and that will usually take care of it. But as you can see right there, that sleeve was not working. So like it says in the slide, we did everything we could to not shut this line down, because we knew that there would be pressure issues throughout the city, and in some cases no water. So essentially about 11 o'clock, we'd made the call to shut it down. There was no way for us to deal with it any other way. This was a last ditch effort. We tried everything we could to avoid it because of the impact. And that left, well, in all the pictures, but the left one especially, you can see that yellow line that's crossing it. That's the gas line. So that is a steel pipe. Very dangerous situation when you're trying to cut a steel line with a gas line right over the top of it. This is the 3rd Street Reservoir tank. It's out on 6 Mile Hill. This is the tank that feeds that 24-inch line, and it runs all the way to Garden. So it's responsible for a good portion of our water in the city of Roswell. That's a diagram of the water map that shows the reservoir, just so you can kind of see schematically how it's drawn out. So once we did get it pumped down, and the pipe was drained, you can see that blue pipe in both pictures, but really the left picture, you can see it more clearly. That's C900 pipe. We cut the steel and essentially would install that in between and clamp it down with sleeves on each side. So on the left, that's the fix, that's the repair when it's completed. I'm happy to report that from the time we made the call to shut the water down, it was only shut off, it was less than 12 hours by the time we had it fixed and powered back on. The picture on the right is the flow fill. That's what we install over the line and underneath it to prevent it from buckling, you know, weight pushing it down, any cracking, stuff like that, just to reinforce that pipe. So essentially, this is why I'm here, is to give thanks to these guys, to the first responders that dealt with this. We had all hands on deck. A lot of these guys were out there. They had worked 36 plus hours straight to make sure we could deal with this. It was a very odd situation in that we had that many main breaks the day before, and they worked the hours that they did to then turn around and have to deal with something like this. Just some facts for you guys, just so you kind of know, we have over 349 miles of water lines. That serves well over 49,000 residents, about 4,000 valves and hydrants throughout the city. Oldest line 1913, newest 2024. So you can tell we have aging infrastructure, as every city does, and it's something that is a real problem in every city, keeping up with growth and demand. I would say, you know, we have lots of valves in the city that need replacement and lots of lines that will need to be replaced. And that would be it. If anybody has any questions, I just wanted to recognize these guys. We did get a pretty good amount of the water guys here tonight. I wanted to recognize them publicly and the fire department for their efforts in doing what they did so that we could restore water service. One thing I didn't mention was that we had 2 hospitals that were without water, so that really put us under a pretty tight spot. And we saw to it that we did everything we possibly could to get that water restored as fast as we possibly could. So if you can't, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to have them at least stand up, or we could recognize these guys for their efforts. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor, unless there are questions, happy to answer them.
Anyone have any questions? Councilor Johnson?
Yeah, I showed up over there about 9:30, something like that in the morning. And I couldn't believe, you know, I've stayed up all night before, but it was not to do what you guys did. Mine was fishing or something else, but, man, those guys, their relentless pursuit of getting this patched, I mean, you could see every one of them was dead tired, propping each other up, the team in action. I mean, it was heartfelt. You know, I saw Shelley, I saw all you guys there looking over them. City manager showed up. I mean, you guys have a lot of support, and appreciate you guys for what you do, man. Got a lot of work ahead of you because they keep breaking. Thank you, Mayor.
Any further comments? You know, I might point out that when you look at that 349 miles, we have 161 miles of that is 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch cast iron pipe. Its useful life is 40 years, and it's been in our in Roswell in the ground here for 85 years. That's the level that we're looking at, and I'm sure it's about probably $1 million a mile to change all that line. And you know, when we're out there watching these guys work, after working all day on 14 leads, to have this one come, it was amazing. And we had guys who were riding that 24-inch pipe just like you'd ride a Bronco, sitting there and pulling on that clamp to try to get it to stop. And you know, a lot of times when you look at the reasons, one of the reasons I brought up Trey Gray this morning was he died in action from our water department. And that's why I just want to say it is safety. That's your job as well as safety, and your boss, you guys are doing a good job of that, and I applaud you for that. But you know, never let people forget that Our department in our city has all kinds of different areas, and everybody has to work together. The police and fire, they have a job, and when you look, water, wastewater, sanitation, solid waste, every one of them has a job. A fireman's not any good without any water in his hose. And you know how hard it is when you have to go to work without taking a shower in the morning and the things. And our crews were out there turning water on and off, you know, to make sure most of the city had water. And so, you know, we have a problem with water mains that were supposed to be, should have been fixed in 2011. The two other big tanks we have up there, this was our last, this tank was our last hope to keep us going. Those, we are in the process of repairing the two tanks out on West Country Club. I want you to know that our city is really taking this extremely serious. Our city manager and the water department have crews. We are building a crews together to replace a lot of our lines and try to do what we can in-house. But you're looking at probably $150 or $60 million just to replace the cast iron pipe. And so when we look about water, there, we have a lot of things. And when the base left here, we had no one to pay for the repairs to our city because we went from 57,000 people down to probably 25 or 26,000 people. So we have a lot of things going on, not to make excuses or anything else, but we have really good crews and everybody is working together. And I just want people in the city to know that we're really doing well. And thank you all, thank the water department for all you do. And but you know, we have the problem in the sanitation department too. So the wastewater, we had a break there. We have a lot of issues that have to be addressed because they haven't been addressed. And it wasn't by necessarily our fault, just the way it is. So with that, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate it.
Can we have them line up in front of the guys and take pictures?
Yeah, would that be all right? Would all you water guys come up? Line up up here. If you don't mind.
We gotta go, you gotta go.
One, two, three.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Y'all don't remember that night. It was, these guys were so wet and it was so cold out. I mean, we were out there for a long time. You have a lot of dedicated employees, so thank you. Next, we have Set Apart Gymnastics, Jason and Jennifer.
Hello, I'm Jennifer with Set Apart Gymnastics. And these are our competitive girls from this last competition season, 2025-2026. Hey girls, go ahead and keep moving.
Then we can see all of you.
Keep coming, keep coming.
There you go. Oh.
These girls are tiny but mighty. They had an amazing season. We started out, so we just opened up our gym about 1.5 years ago, so they went into their first season. And their very first competition, they got second place, team award. Their second competition, they got third place. And then after that, the 5 competitions they competed in, after that, they got the first place team award. So they are the #1 level 2 team in New Mexico. And they are actually ranked 61 in the nation. So they are pretty awesome. A lot of them ranked in the top 10 for gymnasts here in New Mexico. So, and also Rin actually was ranked in the top 100 gymnasts in the nation. Yeah. So yeah, and so they're moving into their next level. Some of them are going level 3 and some of them are going level 4. And so they're just such hard workers and very talented, and man, they're gonna go amazing places, even if it's not gymnastics. And so we have great coaches. Robin and Heather are part of our team, just learning as they go, as they do not have a gymnastics background, but have definitely stepped up and obviously done amazing. So, yep, that's it.
Thank you very much. Young ladies, where are all the boys? Huh? You don't have boys in gymnastics? Why not?
Because we don't have any new
You don't want to
No boys?
Can we have some boys, like, they're not on like a competition team, more of like just be wild and crazy team?
What ages?
We have starting at 18 months old and up. Yeah, we have a mommy and me class that starts at 18 months old. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome.
Good job, young ladies.
Everybody look forward and smile.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, now I gotta go around the little genie here.
Uh-oh.
Now the little genie's in your way.
You might need to move the right back.
I think I may have to move on this side.
Well,
That little genie is always in my way too.
Can you get it, or you want me to get distracted with it?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff, girls.
now if each one of you girls will recruit a boy, be in gymnastics, you'll double the size of your class. Okay, moving right along, we have public participation. We have Angela Mia, and she'd like to speak to us on the water department or water bills. Welcome, Ms. Mia. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and council members. Before I begin, I understand that I do have 3 minutes to present. I'd just like to respectfully request additional time to complete my speech and for comments or questions. My name is Angela Villa, and I am a resident of District 5, south of Roswell. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I would like to share a concern regarding water billing that I believe deserves attention, not only for my household, but potentially for others in our community experiencing similar issues. My typical water usage has consistently been around 4,000 gallons per billing cycle. Recently, I received a bill indicating 50,000 gallons of usage March 15th through April 15th, which is more than 10 times my normal amount. There have been no changes in my water use, and I have not observed any visible leaks that would explain such a large increase. Before I even contacted the water department, my husband, who is a city employee, as well as my brother, who had worked for the water department 30 plus years and is now retired, carefully checked both the perimeter of our property and the interior of our home to verify whether there were any leaks. They did not find any evidence of leaks. When I first visited the water department, I was told it was likely a leak. even though I clearly let them know I checked before going in. Then they said someone would call me. The next day, I received a call saying the meter had been verified and that there was a constant flow indicating a leak. However, when I personally had another city employee check the meter in my presence afterward, it was still covered in dirt in a way that suggested it had not been physically inspected. That raised some concern for me. I returned to the department to follow up, and again I was told that it had to be a leak. At that point, it was decided that someone would come out to perform a PSI test. I am still waiting for this test to be completed since last week. However, I do not have any water pressure problems. When customers report concerns and are quickly told the issue is on their side without detailed analysis, meter verification, or follow-up, it gives the impression that the responsibility is being shifted away from the system and onto residents. I want to be clear, residents understand that leaks can happen, but when the default response is always, it must be a leak, without documentation, inspection, or transparency, it is not a sufficient answer, especially in cases where the increase is as extreme as what I experienced. In the meantime, I have also been monitoring my water usage closely on a daily basis for 7 days now. Even when accounting for higher use scenarios such as watering rose bushes and a small pecan tree, which I do not do daily, my maximum daily usage has been around 125 gallons, which does not align with the level of usage reflected on my bill. I share this not to place blame, but to highlight how situations like this can become confusing and difficult for residents to navigate when the data and the conclusions don't seem to match. I respectfully ask the council to consider encouraging more thorough and verifiable inspection processes, providing clearer communication and documentation when conclusions are made, ensuring residents have access to transparent methods of validating usage, establishing a fair and consistent process for reviewing disputed bills, offering accessible options for meter testing or usage verification. I believe these steps would help strengthen confidence and improve the overall experience for residents. At its core, this situation is about trust and clarity. When residents take the time to ask questions, check their own usage, and seek understanding, they are trying to be responsible, and they simply hope the system will meet them with the same level of care and attention. We all rely on this service every day, and we all want to feel confident that we are being charged is accurate and well supported. I truly appreciate the work that you all do for our community, and I hope this concern can be addressed in a way that benefits both the city and the residents it serves. Thank you for your time.
I might just point out, ma'am, when we started, 4 years ago, the city had changed a lot of meters and went to some self-reading meters and stuff, and that was before everybody on this. I think maybe Councilor Crescent and Andrew here, and we had a number of those self-reporting water things. We've had a lot of problems with them. The company went bankrupt, and we are probably still paying for some of that until the year 2030. And I mean, that's just where we are. So we know we've had a problem with some of the meters, and we're trying to rectify it for the best we can and get it all back together. And so with that, I would just, so you know that, I mean, some of this goes way back and trying to fix it. And I know we've had problems with the meters, and we're working on that. Are there any questions from members of the council? No. Yes, ma'am. Juliana.
Yes, how can we help her? I agree with her, to go from, what did you say your regular meter reading was?
125 gallons a day,
To
50,000 on the month.
Yeah, and I have calculations here. I mean, I can, I documented them, and so, and then just as for like the last meter date reading, April 15th, it's already showing that I've used 28,925. But for these last 7 days, which is including, I've only used 916 for the week. So I don't understand the 3 weeks before I started monitoring where I could have used 27,000 gallons. And I don't have a leak. There's no leak.
Well, I talked to Chantel in the past before she was promoted, and she would go out and look at people's houses for leaks, so she said sometimes there's a toilet running, but not 50,000 gallons worth.
No.
You hear it.
Yes, and even if, a water, that .02, like I said, I have a bunch of calculations here, I can present those to you if you like, but,
What do you think?
I know that we have some information on this house, and I just haven't been appraised of it. I know that Tony has looked into this already a little bit. I don't know if she wants to comment. But the short answer is, yeah, we pulled up the ITRON readings, and there's something going on at the property. So we just gotta figure out what's going on.
yeah, nobody came to talk to me or asked if I was washing clothes or watering, so I don't know how they could check the meter or check anything unless they were verifying if I was using it.
You don't have an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
No, sir, I do not. No, that's what I said, I was like, 50,000 gallons is like 6 swimming pools.
May I ask, what is your water bill? Because your sewer is driven off of your water usage.
Yeah, so my bill for this 50,000 gallons was $283. And my regular is usually around 98, 101. That's if I go over the 3,000, which, like I said, is usually around 4,000.
So Chantel has been out there a couple times to go look at the meter. Her meter is reading in Icon, and there does show activity consistently on there. That's why the girls at the billing office mentioned that there could possibly be a leak because they see the activity on there constantly moving through that.
Okay, so I didn't get to put that in my speech because I knew I only had 3 minutes. So yes, Chantel did come out, and she was called out when the person that I had come to check the meter, and it was reading at .02. Like I said, even at .02, it reads, I can give you numbers here. So even at .02, if it was reading every minute, .02, for 24 hours continuously, that's 28 gallons a day. At 30 days, it's only 864 gallons. So that still doesn't explain the other 49,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I see a considerable spike in there throughout your reads on some of those days. So, and I know I've talked to Chantel a little bit about it today, and she was going to do a PSI read on it, but then she mentioned that she wasn't able to do it regarding something on the meter.
Okay, I don't think we need to hash the whole thing out here
Yes.
tonight, but I do think we need to call and ask whoever these people in contact. Yeah, we'll get that resolved.
We'll get it, I don't know, change your meter and see what happens or something else done. We're almost there. Okay, council lady,
Okay, I'll try to make this quick, because we definitely don't want to rehash October 2024. So I will say this, as I said in October of 2024. Then it was me and a dog. And like this month, it was me, but I haven't been home. And my water bill was $159, okay, for damn near no usage. So I understand, and I actually believe, this is what I believed in 2024. I believe there's something systemic on a higher level that we're missing. And as far as the operations, because I think that people understand that there's something off. I don't know where it is, I don't know what it is, but I actually think it's something that our administration actually hasn't really nailed into, because a lot of this system runs off of Wi-Fi and super connecting into, so troubleshooting, I believe we were working with Councilman Cortez to actually start troubleshooting these, and I think it's just an area where, because it's a system that is quite complex, and it was probably a system we should not have invested in many years ago. But, so it has been noted, we are aware, and I absolutely agree with and appreciate you taking the time to come up here and say, hey guys, this is off. Something doesn't look right, and the basic explanations aren't scientifically or logically making sense, but it is so hard to explain. So I do appreciate you, I hear you, and I see you, and I'm going through it too.
Thank you. Can I make one last comment? You know, you talked about the system. I just want to make, you know, like, just some questions that could be asked. So does the system alert when the usage is excessive? Is the customer contacted? You know, are meters checked and audited for accuracy, especially on excessive usage? So, you know, if the system is being checked, you know, in the office, and there's no physical people checking the meters, are they being alerted? And if they are being alerted, or, you know, like, okay, this person has used 50,000 gallons and they've only used 4,000 usually for the last year, you know, should the customer be contacted so they can check?
Yes, ma'am, and the system, it has, there are times, I've had people tell me that it showed that they had a leak, and it showed up later that they didn't. And so it does alert people sometimes. I can't say it works all the time, but it does do that. So we will, I think Mr. Hines will be glad to be there with me. I implement Tony in the water department. We'll get that to see what we can do to figure out why and identify whatever problems we have. But I know I'm just saying that we got a system that, we inherited a system that didn't work very well. And so we're working on that. And like you heard tonight, the water department, we have a lot of issues that things haven't been addressed for years. And so we're working on it. We'll get there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for bringing it forward. Okay, next we have, that's all we had been signed up today. So next we have item 21, and that's ordinance to hold a public hearing on ordinance 26-03, an ordinance amending and updating the fire code with reference to the chapter 13 of the city ordinance. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Councilors. Thank you for having me. As you guys know, we're here today to seek approval for the adoption of the 2024 International Fire Code. As many of you are aware, during my presentations at the Public Safety and Legal Committees, I presented for a full restructure of the City Ordinance Chapter 13 with the intentions of providing some much needed order and the addition of some amendments. At the request of some of the councilors, we withdrew the amendments for further review, and we will be presenting those after we've gotten some discussion on it. For now, we wanted to go ahead and move forward with the adoption of the 2024 code. And this is mainly so that we can regain compliance with the state. As many of you know, the state adopts the minimum code, and we are required to accept that as our state statute or our minimum statutes. Additionally, we had an inspection from the Insurance Services Office, and they also do a performance review, and they expect us to have a high level of the most current code. So this will get us back into compliance with both those. That's pretty much it. I'll stand for any questions.
Okay, do we have any, let's see, so we have Councilor Cameron, would you care to make a motion on this, on ordinance number 26-01 or 03?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 26-03.
We have a motion by Councilor Cameron, to a second by Councilor Lady Arnold. Okay, now we can go back to, if we go back, okay, this motion, this is to bring us up to the 2024 council or state requirements for the fire code, is what this would do if we pass this ordinance.
Yes, sir. The state is actually on the 2021 code currently, but they are going to be moving forward to the 2024 code, presumably this year. So we are a little ahead of the game, but that's the intent.
But it's Also, the state's intention, if we don't move up to this, to the current code that they require, that we will probably get dinged on fire funds and everything else all the way through.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, see,
So, Mr. Mayor, I mean,
yeah, I know that, I was just, okay, yes, Councilman Campbell.
make sure I'm doing this like we're supposed to. So do I need to amend this? We're not approving 2603, but we're approving the whole of public hearing. Is that what we're doing here?
It is a public
Okay, so I need to amend that to approve the whole of public hearing for ordinance 2603.
Okay, it's been, motion has been approved, it was second, it was, agreed to by your second, so we still have Council Carroll with a motion to approve to hold a public hearing for this.
Mr. Mayor, this is the public hearing.
This is public.
Yes, so the proper motion is in fact to approve the ordinance.
Okay,
All right, that's what we,
but that's not what I'm saying.
That's not what it says.
But I understand, okay, so we're gonna re-amend it to approve.
will you just make,
Well, I'm just saying, it says, it's stated there, so we're gonna go back to my original, motion to approve ordinance 2603.
second, I support.
okay, so everybody understands we're back on approving ordinance 2603, which is what it typically amounts to, is approving the current fire code that's required by the state. And that's for the year 2024, replacing the 2021 ordinance, or the code, the state code. Now, do we have any further questions of our fire marshal or anything? Anyone have any further questions? Any further discussion? Okay.
Just a matter of clarification, I'm still confused as to where we're voting on the hearing itself.
No,
Are we voting on the ordinance?
We are voting on approving the ordinance, of number 26-03, which, what it does when we do that, if you read up here on the board, that gives you better, stronger fire protection, and so our city, as I recall, for our fire department, we're very close to getting a level 1 fire rating, which is the best you can get, and when you get that, it lowers your insurance rates because how well this is going.
Well, the reason I'm asking is, I don't, unless I'm the only one that doesn't remember, voting for a hearing last month. I don't remember voting for a hearing.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
the hearing.
Yes, sir, it was on the consent agenda for last month at the beginning.
It was on the consent agenda.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, if the clerk would call the roll.
Counselor Oropesa,
Yes.
Counselor Arnold,
Yes.
Counselor Gass,
Yes.
Counselor Maruco,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson.
Yes.
Counselor Corn,
Yes.
Counselor Halverson,
Yes.
Counselor Hildebrand,
Aye.
Counselor Cavan.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Motion passes 9-0.
thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
So my, vote 9 affirmative, none of the negative. Item 2602 is passed. Next, we have item 22. And that is approval of the fiscal year 27 proposed budget. So we have Counselor Gass, if you care to make a motion.
Yes, first I want to thank everybody for all the city staff and departments for helping us with their budgets, and especially for the finance department. We have spent many hours on the budget, but we are not there yet, and so I ask, make a motion that we put the fiscal 27 proposed budget back to the finance committee. I think we've got a special finance committee on the 21st of May set up, and any counselor is sure welcome. We're gonna try to go, start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we wanna try to get the budget done. We've gotta submit it to the state by June 1st. So we're gonna have a special, finance committee meeting, then we're gonna have a special city council meeting to approve it, and after that, so we can submit it on time to Santa Fe. So I'm making a motion that we refer the budget back to the finance committee for a special finance meeting on May 21st at 9 a.m.
Second.
There was second by Councilor Hildebrand. Is there any further discussion? Can we do a voice vote or you want a roll call, ma'am?
A roll call, please.
Okay. All those in favor of moving the item 22, the approve the budget,
You want a roll call?
It's a vote. It's a voice
Yes,
vote.
yeah, we'll do a voice vote.
It's a vote.
well, I'm just trying to make sure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, go ahead and give an unanimous vote of 9 affirming, none of the nays, because there were no votes. Good job. You know, just trying to do like you tell me not to. Okay. Next, we have item 23, approval of budget adjustment for authorization to purchase equipment services from XYBIX, Recovery One, and Goodman's in the amount of $165,551.67 to support the relocation, upgrading, and outfitting of the Pecos Valley Regional Communication Center with expenditures to be funded by the city and subsequently reimbursed by the New Mexico Department of Finance Administration E911 grant program. And we have Councilor Gas. Would you make a motion?
Mayor, I would like to make a motion that we approve that budget adjustment as you just read.
We have a motion, is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Council Lady Arnold seconds it, thank you very much for listening. Council Lady Arnold. Okay, are there any questions? This is the moving of our, facilitates Pecos Valley Regional Communication Center, the upgrade and moving it. Are there any questions? Would you like to make a statement quickly?
No, sir, just I'm here if you have any questions.
Okay, is there anyone that has any questions? Seeing none, Bert Gold,
Voice vote.
voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 9, affirming none, negative, item 23 is duly passed.
Thank you.
Which is the approval of the, purchase of $165,000 to, update the Pecos Valley Regional Communication Center. Okay. Next, we have item, 24. This is for approval of the task force to Parkhill, Smith, and Cooper for a permit for the renewal of the Roswell Municipal Landfill for $243,284.49. This will be utilizing RFP 25-002 engineering and architectural services. So, and this is Councilor Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, move we approve the task force for Parkhill, Smith, and Cooper Incorporated for $243,284.49.
Second, please. That was the second, was that? Give it to whoever got there. I got it first way. Who? Will? Yeah. Councilor Kevin, all right. Okay. Okay, is there any, do anyone have any questions of Abraham on this? Has to be done. Would you like to answer any questions?
Negative.
Any questions? Okay, then, all those present, or excuse me, this will be a voice vote for approval of the task to prevent renewal of the Roswell Municipal Landfill for $243,284.49. If all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 9 to affirmative, none in the negative, item 24 is duly passed. Item 25, this is approval of a budget adjustment to SkyWest Airlines / United Express in the amount of $748,617.26 pursuant to the Transportation Services Agreement with the Roswell Air Center for providing nonstop jet service between Roswell and Denver International Airport. The eligible cost being submitted for reimbursement to the U.S. Department of Transportation Small Committee Air Service Deployment Program. Councilor Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move to approve the budget adjustment for SkyWest Airlines United Express in the amount of $748,617.25. Second.
Who was the second?
26, excuse me.
You made it.
Okay.
All right. Is there any questions? We have a motion by Councilor Corn, seconded by Councilor Marujo. Does anyone have any questions on approving this? We had earlier testimony that we're about 45% now, but the book would show we're up to 71%. In the next section, both things are going really well there because we didn't get enough advertising to start with.
Mayor Pro Tem has a question.
Oh, okay. Mr.
Ladies first.
Warren.
Ladies first.
Sorry, but you know, it's how they should be, how their questions should be asked, how they were recognized, and that's what they said. She came later, for Corn. And
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just kind of curious. If I recall correctly, this grant is for $250,000. So $750, excuse me. I misspoke. I looked at your sheet that was in here. And so, but there wasn't any detail on how this 748,617.26 was arrived. Did they give you a day-by-day billing or flight-by-flight, or how did they come up with this number?
Yes, we did receive an invoice from SkyWest United Express that shows their occupancy rate on the flights and then the void that was created because it was only 45%. And I'd also like to add that with 71% going forward, he's going to take 80% of fuel prices. Recent fuel prices have also impacted this. But we also will be receiving a state grant at the the latter part of July for $2,250,000 in support of rural air service as well. And then we'll be going for what's the acronym is a SCSI grant. We'll be going for another SCSI grant to cover the cost. Although we're very hopeful, as Mr. Gonzalez mentioned, we have billboards now, and we also have radio ads running. I hope you've heard some of those in addition to social media. So we're hoping, obviously, those are, the 71% is in the future, so we're hoping that those 71% becomes higher before those days arrive, that we can get you a copy of that detailed invoice if you could see it.
So, if I understand you correctly, we're using the 750 federal funds first, because it's old. It's been around for a while, and I vaguely remember the details on that.
That is correct.
And so you're trying to get how much from the state again?
$2,250,000 over a 2-year period, so this year and next year.
Over 2 years.
Well, it's not over 2 years, it's each year.
What?
$2,250,000 per year for 2 years.
Per year for 2 years.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm a little tired from last night.
So, and when will we know we landed this, or we already know?
July.
July, okay.
We know as official as we can before the new fiscal year.
Okay. Well, this looks very promising. But now you got the check, and the check clears. Yeah, so, what's our load factor where we don't have to pay the subsidy anymore?
And it's partially, as I mentioned, partially dependent on fuel prices, which we all hope we're getting better. But unless you hit 80%, you're clear.
80% at current fuel prices.
Well, we're hoping those fuel prices are gonna get better.
Well, I understand
But
that.
yes, that's correct, sir.
Okay. So what is it if we get back to more normal?
If we get to the 80%, then it's like American, there's no fee. What they do is they base all their costs and they roll it into a per seat cost. So each seat has a certain fee attached to it, and then once you reach 80%, then that covers the aircraft.
I understand, so, but assuming, big assumption on my part, keep using that word, fuel prices get down, I believe fuel prices will recover much quicker than normally are. Normal times, $3 instead of $6 jet fuel, what's the load percentage? Does it drop also?
I have to look at that. I don't know where the drop goes to, I have to research that. But it does drop.
You and I talk awful about this, because you either have the load capacity number, unless you've got a caveat, and I didn't see it when we did the contract, but if fuel prices go up, we have to take up the difference. I didn't see that. It may be there, but I didn't read it all the way through.
Okay, you and I can get together and go over that.
All right, so anchor sounded good. We'll see. Well, those things proved to be good. Hopefully the boardings will go up like we experienced.
Yeah, the folks from SkyWest United have said that this has been one of their better startups as far as how it's grown in a short period of time.
Okay. Well, that's encouraging. All right.
Thank you very much. Council Lady Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and gentlemen. Councilman Horn kind of helped me to do a lot of trying to understand. I do actually want to ask, is there like a payout timeline and a cap? I mean, so that I know as I'm seeing this come across, is it like going to be quarterly and then we reach a cap? Just making sure I understand. That way I'm like, oh, what the heck? But because we knew it was coming. We kind of knew that this first year would be like this, and I actually think we're doing really good and very excited. But I just kind of wanted to say, no, okay, this is our cap, but yes, you can see this every quarter or something like that.
We do get a billing every quarter, but the cap number is $3 million.
Okay, that's what I was trying to remember. Thank you so much.
Oh, 3.5, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, Council Arnold. Councilman Hildebrand.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bobby, would you mind sharing, just put in my box, these invoices in one line item that says see attached? We don't have attached. It's not put in our packet.
I'll be happy to put them in the box, sir.
I'm just curious, I like numbers and how they.
Very reasonable request.
And the other thing is, if we have a city MasterCard that has points, it says in the invoice that they accept MasterCard. So hopefully we can get 2% cash back if you have that big MasterCard.
That's an important question, and tomorrow I'm going to be amending our credit card policy to give Tony up to $7 million of credit card capacity.
That's fine. 2% cash back on that, we'll take that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Gas, I have a question for you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's fine, but we had Council Lady Arnold and Chief Tuesday and Council Lady Howard said, maybe we can go to Councilor Gas. Does that,
I apologize.
no problem, no apology.
So Bobby, this is essentially the minimum revenue guarantee.
Yes, that's what's commonly referred to as we talked before, the FAAs and those acronyms. So some call it MRG or minimum revenue guarantee, which all carriers have this.
So does this grant cover the Denver and Dallas flight?
No, totally different airlines, different programs. And American, just an FYI, American has been doing so well, they've now put the third flight back in, and they are operating larger 90-passenger aircraft.
So this 80%, how long do we have to sustain that before we stop being charged?
Well, historically, what you find is once you read those numbers, that means people know the flights are in place and they usually hold pretty steady unless there's something like a COVID.
So say we pay this and then,
And in the contract is a 2-year period.
yeah, I'm just, okay, so I'm just wondering, like in a month, say we, for the, starting tomorrow, we sustain 80%, do we get any of this money back?
No, you don't get it back.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's everything.
Except for that 2% Council Hillman.
Okay, that's all I had, thank you.
You know, okay, next we have Councilor Gas. Thank you.
I did ask for the back of that invoice and they did send it to me, so I'll send it to all the councilors so you can see it. And it did have a large portion of that 748,000 is a fuel surcharge. So, just for the information, but the grant that we're gonna get in the future, will that cover us from whatever this billing cycle is until then?
Yes, because we don't get another bill till the next quarter. That's passed.
Okay, thank you.
And I'd like to thank Councilman Gass because I found out earlier this evening that he's won 4 times.
Yeah, I'm trying to help.
Ready with that credit card?
Well, and so, is that any further questions? Okay, oh, Councilor Pressure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Are we counting on the grant for sure? What happens if we, for whatever reason, it doesn't come through?
Well, I never said this, but we've had good conversations. It's come from state aviation. That grant is through state aviation. And we've done very well with state aviation and getting grants.
But are we prepared for plan B in case that it doesn't come through for whatever reason?
Well, we do have money in our reserves and we don't know what that billing will be. As the seats get full, that number does go down, so. If we don't get it, we do have money in our reserves.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Okay. Okay, voice vote okay on this? Okay, on a motion by Councilor Corn and a second by Councilor Marujo, for approval, expenditure $748,617.26 for the to pay the transportation agreements with Roswell Air Center and, United Airlines. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, yes, and as we just close up on that item, Tony, I remember you got all that credit on, MasterCard. I'm the only one that really wanted to give you a pay raise out of all these councils, Counselor, Moore and I work together a lot on aviation stuff, 911 and stuff like that, or whatever, when I.
Don't go ahead, Mr. Mayor, stop, stop. Otherwise I'm gonna leave this meeting. That is water that has already been gone.
Okay, well, you know, we've had water anyway. Okay, so, all right, well, you got something, Item 26, resolution 26-25 adoption. Resolution 26-5 approving the budget adjustment for the fiscal year, ending June 30th, 2026. Okay, now we have, Councilor Gass, who's here to make a motion.
Yep, I'd like to make adoption of resolution 2625 adopting the budget adjustment for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2026 with revenue of $896,357.38. The expenses of $1,034,744.91.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilor Gass, second by Councilor Lady Arnold. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Tony, does this not have to be, we just approved $742,000 in expense, so this needs to be adjusted to record that expense?
Correct.
Thank you.
I'll adjust my motion as needed to add that.
We have a motion to, so Councilor Gass has adjusted his motion to include the $748,000 we just spent.
As well as agenda item number 23 for dispatch.
Alright, 23 as well.
Yes. So the new total for expense is 1,948,913.84.
1,248,948,
948,
213.
913.
Jeez.
1,948,913.84.
Okay. So everybody has all that, everybody agrees with the motion. That's with it now. Any further discussion? All those? What? Oh, you wanna have a vote?
Roll call for resolution.
All right, and all those, if the clerk can call the roll.
Counselor Oropesa,
Yes.
Counselor Arnold,
Yes.
Counselor Gass,
Yes.
Counselor Marujo,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Corn,
Yes.
Counselor Halverson,
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand,
Aye.
Counselor Cavan.
Yes,
Motion passes 9-0.
Okay, we have, so on, council, resolution 26-25 is passed by a vote of 9 affirmative, none negative, as amended.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we have to go into motion for, closed session, and that is a roll call motion, to discuss, collective bargaining. So item 27 is to hold a closed session pursuant to New Mexico statute 1978 and section 1015-1H to discuss collective bargaining. If the clerk would call the roll.
Counselor Oropesa,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Counselor Gass,
Yes.
Counselor Marujo,
Yes.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
Counselor Corn,
Yes.
Counselor Halverson,
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand,
Aye.
Counselor Cavan.
Yes, ma'am. By a vote of 9 affirmative, none negative, we're gonna go into I have a motion to call it back into order. So moved. So moved by Councilor Cavan, seconded by Councilor Halverson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Seeing none by the vote, nine affirmative, none negative. We're back into regular session. Just trying to, you want to report on the bargaining session, or if there was no actions were taken, we did meet in post session, discuss collective bargaining. Okay, next we have communications, out-of-state employees. So we have some we've already had our out-of-state coverage, so we're. Just a report. It's all been just a report.
Do we need to go back and change? Because it's saying in here that the ordinance requires city council approval for any employee receiving more than $1,500 in travel reimbursements within a single fiscal year. So we should be approving these and according to the ordinance. So do we need to change the ordinance?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Emeritus.
If we don't approve these, they can't go.
So the resolution requires reimbursement for over 1,500, but only communication of out-of-state travel. Nobody here is getting more than 1,500 back. This is just for, we're letting you know about the travel. But yes, our outside auditor or independent auditor has suggested we do amend this just to conform with what the kind of best practices are.
It's just saying practicality here. I'm assuming the that they're talking about, that this person here, the very first one, they've already exceeded $1,500 and it needs to be approved by this council.
In reimbursement?
That's what it says. It says, employee receiving more than $1,500 in travel reimbursements from a single fiscal year, this memorandum serves as formal request on behalf. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I don't think we're probably following protocol, are we?
I will look into it and we'll make a recommendation.
No, Mr. Hildebrand, you are correct. That one should be on the approval, not the.
And there's several of them that way. Yeah. Come on. I mean, I don't want these guys not to go, but gotta get proper authorization.
Mm-hmm.
Or change the names, change the resolution or the ordinance or whatever.
I can't find from the police department.
Yeah, they're all that way.
Yeah, so is it?
So they can go, they just need to bring it back to the next council meeting for ratification, I guess.
Yeah, we'll do that. As an OMA issue, yeah. Sorry, the communications are supposed to be notification parts, not the 1,500 ones. That was an oversight on the agenda.
Okay, so we'll work on that.
Appreciate that we follow the rules.
Okay. Actually, I think we've done that on. Now for council comments. Any council? Oh my gosh, okay.
I'll just make it
3 minutes.
I won't take you. We have a lot of stuff going on for the American 250. I want to make sure that he's our largest donor and sponsor. We've got projects this weekend, next weekend, 2 or 3 in June. July 4th, we have the Greatest American Block Party, so that's across the entire nation. We're working with American 250. We're going to have a big party from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Cielo Grande. TJ and Sarah have great help planning and everything. So it's going to be a family. We're trying to do pretty hot dogs, fun, games, we're looking for businesses to sponsor the events. We'll provide the service. Then we go out to the Cielo Grande, July 4th.
Okay. So now we've got Councilor Arnold.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilors, I just wanted to actually note about a email that went out for the council connection for May 26th. which is a Tuesday. I really hope you guys can make it. I think, Ms. Molly, there was special notice going out for a possible quorum, right?
It should have been done.
Okay.
It should have been done.
But anyway, I'm really excited about this one because it is an interactive discussion on the vision of Roswell moving forward 5, 10, to 15 years. And my goal is to interact with the community in, so I wanted to I will send an email out actually noting, because I wanted to pick 4 or 5 areas that we actually look forward to, and I'll probably throw several out there, so if you guys could give me some input on which areas to discuss, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
You might give us a list of what areas that you hear from people, so everybody knows which, take the 5 best ones or something
Right,
like that.
absolutely, and I'll probably put a post out asking for feedback from the community on those areas. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. John, do you want to say something?
I did, real quick. So
Kevin.
we had a conversation in legal, and we kind of put off approving the master plan. And so Meredith's not here right now, but I'm hoping that everybody will have an opportunity to study the master plan that was given to them, because I'm trying to get a workshop set up, which I hope the mayor will call for June 5th. So we'll give you another 3 weeks to look that over. I asked for a workshop so that they can come directly to us and explain the master plan for any questions that anybody has for that. So, I don't know, do we have a time set for that?
I think she said 1.
1 o'clock. And she asked if it was gonna be for 2 hours. I said, well, you can plan for 2 hours, but more than likely it's gonna be probably 4 to 5. So anyway, so please plan for that, and Amanda and the mayor will put that together and make sure that you all are notified on that workshop. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, what Council Kevin was talking about, I would ask that a lot of this thing, the master plan addresses a lot of different areas inside the city, and that we should have input from the Parks Department. I would hope that they would read this master plan. I would hope that anyone that's affected with this master plan reads the master plan, and so they can have their input, not just a council input. So I would ask you to do that.
Any further comments? Seeing no further comments, Mr. City Manager, would you care to make a comment on anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will be 15 seconds. 20 new hires have been made for EMS. That means we're 60% there with time to go. More applications are being received. The public service, the purchase sale agreement for the sanitation land that we've been trying to do for a while has been signed. We're going to be coming back to you for a slight budget adjustment so that can be accomplished before close of fiscal year. The rope hanger is sold and we have the cash in hand. Something we're not telegraphing a ton is that we have been selected for a large music festival in 27, and more information will be coming. That can be very exciting. It is ICIP season. We will be, that is pretty much the only agenda item on infrastructure on Monday. The state moved it up 2 weeks on us, so we have a month to do it, which is perfectly enough time. But if you have projects you would like to see, please just give me a ring and we'll make sure that they can be written up for council approval. Right now our list is approximately 125 long though. And I think it's stuff you would already be aware of anyway. Finally, the new water bills have come out. People have told me they're not awful, which I think is a victory. Finally, and this is actually maybe the best news that I've had all week or in the month. We met with Representative Sansbury and the office manager for Representative Fernandez Ledger, and they have offered to put in to the annual Army Corps Appropriation Act a mandate that a gate be put up at Rocky Dam. So we're gonna work with the flood commissioner, who's really difficult, and we're going to work with our engineers to submit some items so that going the bureaucratic route hasn't worked, and 2 of our 3 members of our delegation are on board. So I think we can really move forward on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Alice.
Okay. Council Lee, how,
What's going on, I don't know, Tony has this, what's going on with the drainage of the animal services? We have a grant.
Sure.
It should be, I'll check with the FA tomorrow, but it should be funded fully.
Yeah, it should be, it is fully funded, at least.
It's on our grant DFA portal.
It's just nothing's been done, and I don't know if you guys are aware. Yeah, I don't think they've even gone out for,
Yeah, we need to go out for bid.
yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, and that would have to be with Fry and Chantel.
That just needs
to initiate all that.
But that is fully funded, we're gonna go out for bid.
Yeah, we need.
yes, council, telegram for the second or third time.
No, this is what's really important. When we do the ICIP list, would you give the mayor 100 stars instead of circles, so he'll distinguish from what we do? Because I don't want to hear his whining for a whole year that he didn't get the vote.
Okay, now, before we adjourn, I would just like to, all the mail record, I know that you're gonna have one paper a week, but really, when you put them all on one page and one on the other page,